Hello, good evening, my officers. How are you all? So, welcome to this Unacademy UPSC Articulate YouTube channel. So, this is Nisha Nujumudeen, your educated Unacademy, an expert in Indian economy, current affairs, and MCQs. So, here we are in the month of December with another interesting series, which is a regular ritual which happens on every single day called as Daily Night Editorial Analysis for UPSC CSE examination. So, this is not just an analysis class. Rather, this is a class which will enable you to get updated with the current happenings of the day. At the same time, a quick 360-degree coverage of what you're supposed to study from that particular day's newspaper. So now, this is indeed a very important session, guys, and every day at 8:30 p.m. I'll be live on the daily night editorial analysis, wherein from the Hindu newspaper authenticated articles will be taken and a quick analysis of them, which even include the coverage of concepts or basics pertaining to the topic of discussion will be conducted. And all handy notes will be provided to you people at the end of the session. And also you will have a mains answer writing practice as well. Clear? So yes, Soham, good evening. Acha, you are in Port Blair, Andaman. Good to know that. Yes, Pavan, hi, Mission. Greetings to you as well. So how are you all? So again, we have the month of December. Yeah, yes, Tejas. Yeah, it's a long time. Happy to see you all. So yesterday, the session, due to some technical issues, it got stopped. But again, once again, I'm welcoming you all for the month of December with a lot of hopes and with a lot of faith, because we are in the last month of this particular year, 2021. So we should have a ray of hope and faith for welcoming the upcoming year for a bright future. Clear? So that's a happy December to all of you, and December is indeed a very special month to me as well. And here we go again, be it October, be it November, be it December, every single month, Monday to Friday, 8:30 p.m. you will have the daily night editorial analysis exclusively focusing on the working professionals and the college students who are will be free in the evening time, because you may not have time in the morning to go through the newspapers, and even if at all you go through the paper, you will not be able to make a note out of it, or let's say you will not be able to make it more simplified. So here you have a simplified version of getting yourself updated with what is happening in and around you from all the important categories, be it economy news, be it polity news, governance news, environment news, social justice news, etc., etc. Clear? So today there is something special, my young officers. You know what? यस तेजस मैम, आप भूल जाएंगे अपना लर्नर्स को डेली क्लासेस प्लीज. ओ कुछ नहीं तेजस, मैं बिल्कुल नो भूल. I do not even forget you people. बिल्कुल I do remember you people. So don't worry, your classes will be commencing as usual, and there are so many exciting surprises and interesting news for you people, which I'll be doing in the Unacademy platform for the month of December. You will have a rain of classes. MCQs one side, current affairs one side, marathons one side, carnival one side. What else you need? I'll be announcing all those things. Do not worry at all. Anything for my learners, because I know how passionate and dedicated you people are. So do am I, because I'm teaching you people, the upcoming future officers for our country, India. So anyways, as you all know, guys, this is a quick look into my profile. I'm one of Unacademy's top plus faculty, handling a lot of sessions based on economy, current affairs, MCQs, and other perspectives. I am also an economist for Government of India and working at Hindustan University as well. And if you see, you can just go through the other awards, recognitions, etc., etc., etc. Now, today there is something special, as I told you before. I'll be doing the analysis of December 1 and 2 together, and not just editorial. So this will be a little lengthy session. Let me tell you that, not just 1 hour class, a little more than that, because I'm doing 2 different days editorial analysis plus the extra news or the important articles that you shouldn't miss out, like the prelims facts of the day, the miscellaneous news, which you should have an understanding, few important schemes which was in news from the Press Information Bureau and all, because I take news from 6 to 7 authenticated sources and comprise them under one single umbrella through these classes, like the Hindu newspaper, the Indian Express, Live Mint, then PIB, Press Information Bureau, you have the Business Standard, the DT, Down to Earth, etc., etc. Clear? Perfect. So yes, my young officers, I hope all of you are very excited to do 2 days current affairs, that to the most important 360-degree wala coverage, just like that. So let me quickly tell you a few things, guys, because it's the month of December. So tomorrow is Friday. Mark your calendars. Every Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. the regular MCQ series, both static plus current affairs session will happen. So this time the title is UPSC level MCQs with 360-degree coverage. So this is a process which will enable you to understand the topics also in a better way and what are the important points to be covered, plus how are the questions framed from the UPSC point of perspective, the difficulty level, whatever, through the regular practice session for the prelims 2022. These are all free classes. Then 7:30 to 8:30, you will have top 10 daily current affairs MCQs. That is from the particular day's newspaper. Let's say if it is today's news for December 2 means what are the questions that you can expect. Top 10 questions with proper explanations. I will not include editorials because we are doing an analysis of editorial in the YouTube. And from editorial, you will never get prelims questions. You will get only mains questions. And the concepts that you learn or the facts or the data that you learn in editorial, maybe questions can be framed out of that for the prelims. That is how actually it works. Clear? So that is a news ritual introduced for you. I thought of doing it at 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. But come on, let me not disturb you, yeah. After 10 o'clock, I thought. 10:30, I thought. Hai na? Let's finish at 6 to 7, half an hour break. 7:30 to 8:30 with top 10 daily current affairs MCQ, the regular ritual. And 8:30 to 9:30 to 10, you'll have this so-called, editorial analysis. Clear? These are the free sessions updates for the coming days. Now, as usual, Saturday, Sunday. The weekend hai na, bahut mast hai. Weekend is always weekend, but then complete crash course on monthly current affairs for the month of November 2021 in a short, sweet and crisp manner will be done for you in just 6 classes, which means 6 hours. One entire month current affairs, 1, 2, 3, like that will divide. That will happen on Saturday. It is a carnival. Carnival means continuous session, which happens in Unacademy free platform. Clear? Perfect. And now, be it free class or plus class, I'm telling you about the free class. What you got to do is below the description box of this particular video, you can find a link. Follow me at Unacademy. Click that, follow me there. It will take you to my profile and make sure that you are downloading the app. If you do not have the app, follow me in that Unacademy profile, and when it is live at 6 or 7:30, whatever, use the code Nisha IAS Live. Come and attend the live classes to become IAS officers with me, and that is Nisha IAS Live. Okay, now if you want to be an UPSC topper, that too Unacademy wala UPSC topper, because being a pan-India brand, like the current year students, around 170 plus learners cracked it, that too iconic of paid students. If you want to be in that category, go for the paid platform. There also fees are very less, nothing to worry. You can just see a discounts over here. GS plus option together with mentoring and vagera, whatever. This is available. On top of this prices like 55,796, you get extra 10 to 15% discount, like 20 to 25,000 rupees again using the code Nisha IAS Live. Most importantly, you will come under the personal mentoring program given by me. That is the whole point. Clear? So grab the opportunity, it's been extended, and make sure that you are subscribing to Unacademy Plus platform without fail. Clear? Perfect. So these are the news and let's say the informations which I wanted to give you people in the month of December, because the December is a blossom month, right? It's a blooming month, I can tell you. Blooming month. Okay? That is why. So those are preparing for the mains examination. There is an optional courses also happening. You can see for sociology, agriculture, PABAD. We have Adipanshu sir, we have Gaurav, we have Rohit, all the people here. We can follow them also. Clear? Yes, Abhi? Yes, Soham, what is it? Ma'am, please improve the internet connectivity of Port Blair being an economist. Kya hai yaar? I cannot come and improve it. But then we have the connection from Chennai going on, the underwater connection. And there is 4G there. Depends on the place where I put. If you are in, Dollygunge or Marine Colony, yeah, you should be getting a good connection, if I'm not wrong. Over there, the connection is very good, because when I go to Andaman, I do stay in those places. It's pretty good connection you have. So yes, these are the batches, guys. Every Wednesday, batch courses for 2022 preparation. For 23 preparation, already it has been decided. It will be there on current affairs in every single subject. Hindi, bilingual, and also English, it is there. You can enroll and start studying in a sequential manner. So once you enroll for the paid platform, you get to understand. your journey as a learner. It's not like you go to an academy, you study a day and come. No. Well in advance for the next 1 year, what are you going to study is decided by us at an academy. You can see December 1 to 31st March, you have a prelims and mains comprehensive courses for rock solid foundation, which consists of NCERT also. Then the booster and prelims 365 courses for preparing you for the prelims. Then you have mission air 1 mains batches. Then the interview batches. And you can see how it goes for the 2 years and 1 year and 3 years, how we have separated the learner's journey with the proper timetable trackers, with extra personal coaches and subcoach like that. Nowhere else you'll get all this benefit. So grab the opportunity, utilize it to the fullest. What you do is follow me via Telegram. Nisha Nujumudeen for UPSC. I repeat, Nisha Nujumudeen for UPSC. You just Google it up, you get my Telegram. Clear? Yes, miss, I am new. I don't have much idea about where to start preparation. Do not worry. Follow the sessions which I'm doing in the Unacademy special classes as well. You will get a better idea with regard to MCQs. Clear? And I'll do a strategy class as well. Do attend that. In YouTube only I'll do. So you can attend that. And there are a lot of free test series every Sunday and all. If you see, using the code Nisha IAS Live in your mobile phone, download the app. 50 to 60 questions you have. Attend it. If you win the test, if your rank is 1 to 500, then you get some scholarship according to the eligibility criteria. There are so many steps like that. Clear? Now there is a good news for you. 20 general studies books curated as per the latest trend of UPSC will also be given to you people, Hindi as well as English, for the Unacademy iconic people. And it is reviewed by the top educators like us and the previous UPSC toppers. Clear? So enroll, and only if you have a subscription of 1 year and above, like 2 or 3 years, both GS and combo together, like iconic subscription or something, you get this. Otherwise, you will not. Every single day, you get the books, with regard to, or the PDF with regard to the class preparations from the concerned faculty educator. But this is something extra out of the box. Clear? There is no need for you to, depend on too many sources, I can tell you. Fine? So you can just see what are the benefits of premium or iconic paid subscription. Personal guidance with subject experts, and of course I'll be there along with me. Somebody else will also be there for you. Study plan, customized plan based on what you are. See, student A will be a slow learner. Student B will be an average. Student C will be a fast learner. So based on your criteria, study plan and timetable track will be given to you. And one-to-one live mentoring classes by the UPSC toppers, the bureaucrats, as and when it is required, will be given to you. You will have test analysis compulsory. So the top exam experts will analyze that and make sure that you are getting in the right track. Clear? You have study booster workshop. You have weekly test, study materials then and there. Every day you get, and also you get curated books as well. And unlimited access. Nobody can stop you from watching a class at 1 a.m. in the midnight if you miss a live class in the evening also. And every now and then live class keeps starting. So the batches keep starting. So multiple benefits here and structured courses. What else you need? Tell me. So people used to ask me, why? What is iconic, ma'am? Iconic is a premium thing. It will be, let's say, extra 15 and 20,000 from the normal fees amount that you pay if you're an iconic subscriber or a paid subscriber from Unacademy. Because of these benefits only, it is always special. Clear? I hope it is crystal clear for you people. Why I am telling all this is I will not keep on and on telling the benefits of Unacademy. What is iconic? What is that SNA? Once and all for the entire month, I'll be telling in the beginning of the class of this month. Afterwards, I'll tell you there are offers, go for it. Apart from that, don't expect me to keep telling the same thing again and again. Clear? It's once and all for the month of December. Hello, let's crack it. You should indeed be ready, guys. Okay? Quickly give me a thumbs up. Today, the articles are brilliant here. You will not believe. They're really, really brilliant articles. Perfect. So here we go. The analysis for as per 2nd December 2021. After this, we'll go for 1st December as well. Okay? So if you see in today's The Hindu newspaper, page number 7 and 8, if you have, you can take it. You would have seen two beautiful articles, one from economy category, one from polity category. One is talking about India's informal economy has not shrunk. And second, protect, don't pander. Beautiful articles you have, no doubt in that. And now if you see, this particular articles may appear to be a little lengthier for you people. But let me tell you something, they're beautiful articles which is highly simplified by me. So now this is an article, guys. What happened was like recently a study was conducted by the biggest commercial bank of our country, that is State Bank. So State Bank of India, they did a research study, and as per the study, they are claiming that there is greater formalization of the economy and that is unfounded. So you remember when Mr. Arvind Subramanian sir was also my professor, when he was a chief economic advisor to Government of India, CAA, then he beautifully in the economic survey that he projected or he put forward, he said that formalization of informal sector is the need of the hour. That's indeed very true, don't you think so? Yes, formalization of informal sector is indeed very important, no doubt in that, right? So now the same thing is now brought in the year 2021. So in this particular article, let's quickly have a look into why are you studying this particular topic? Why did SBI did a study and what are the kind of points that has been put forward? There are so many misled claims. There are so many, points and schemes that you should understand. And also with regard to formalization of the informal sector, a great focus has to be done for the fact that our country, India, consists of more than 90% of the population put up where in the informal sector. So don't you think so? Giving much of focus to the informal sector is indeed the need of the hour for our country, India, to grow? Yes, absolutely. That is what this particular article is trying to tell you in a very simplified way. So what I'll do is the same article. Can you see the highlighting points that I've done here? The same thing in a note format, in a very simplified 360-degree coverage format. I'm going to tell you. Clear? Here we go. The reason why we are studying this particular topic, as I told you, is because recently the SBI, okay, they conducted a study. And as per the SBI research report, okay, they are claiming or they're saying that the informal economy in India has been shrinking. Matlab, it has been reducing. So more than 90%, approximately 94% of individual as per 2018 data was prevalent in our country, India, informal sector. But they're saying, no, after 2018, it has been shrinking or reducing, which means a good thing here. We are able to formalize the informal sectors through various schemes, including them for the various social welfare schemes like Atal Pension Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Yojana, etc., etc. So somewhere or the other, some improvement has been seen. That is why this point has been noted. But when you read the statement, somewhere or the other, come on, it is striking a kind of question into your brains. Is it really the right one? Don't you think so? Sahi hai. So here we go. Let's have a quick look into what is it. So now what does the SBI research report actually tells, guys? Now what happened was like a few economists, okay, expert panel people, they did a kind of study. As for the gross value added or GVA, what is GVA? You all know what is GDP. This is a quick concept clearing, okay? So you can just make a note of it. GDP is nothing but the sum total of the final value of goods and service produced in the economy during one particular year by the normal residents of the country, or the people who are within the domestic boundary territory, right? But they take into consideration the output from all the three sectors, primary, secondary, tertiary put together. What is GVA? Gross value added is again the sum total of the value of final goods and services from one particular sector or one particular industry during particular period of time, which means individually, if you want to know the data or the GVA of agriculture sector, you can get that through GVA method. A combination of GVA of agriculture, industry and service sector will give you GDP in simple terms. So now to have an in-depth analysis, as per the State Bank of India report, see these are conceptual or static parts I've told you. Now we can connect them to current affairs. Okay, so as per GVA is concerned, it was used to formalize the process. You know why? So individual data you'll be able to collect in a better manner. So this is called as micro perspective instead of going for a macro perspective. Clear? And the next important thing which the SBI research report is telling is that increase online or digital payment. Okay. And the job path. Again, there are two ways to increase consumption. That is very true. Because even today, a normal small scale vendor also is having a phone pay or a Google Pay scanner out there, a QR code out there. Because everything has been digitalized, especially after the pandemic perspective. And as per the research of SBI report, they are telling that the informal sector, or in more simple terms, I can tell you, the unorganized sector. Okay, they would account for just 15 to 20% of GDP in 2021, down from 52.4% in the year 2018. So this is showing a shrink or a contraction in what? In informal sector. Don't you think so? Yes, that's indeed a great thing because we want to formalize informal sector. or let's say formalization of organized or unorganized or informal sector is indeed one of the most important point which we have been projecting from so many years towards our government. I mean all the economists. Take care. Now, having understood this, my young officers, don't you think it's very important for us to have a look into what is informal economy? Yes, of course. Now, as we all know, informal economy or let's say informal employees are employees who do not belong to the formal sector, who doesn't have a permanent job or let's say who doesn't have a security, though they have a permanent job also, the job security that you get, like how you are a government employee or a formal sector employee, doesn't come there. So basically, household enterprises that are not formed as distinct legal organizations and where there are no proper records available, they are classified as what? Informal enterprise by the International Labour Organization. And that happened way back in the year 1993, guys, at the 15th International Conference of Labour Statisticians. Clear? Yes, Iris, what is it? Thank you. And let me tell you something, Iris. I don't take class in Hindi. मैं हिंदी के class नहीं चलता था. मतलब I do take only in English. But थोड़ा थोड़ा कभी-कभी I use Hindi. ठीक है? Anyways, but these are simple English, Iris. You can follow that as well. So now, if you see in the again talking about the informal economy or let's say informal employees, how it is formed is if you see these informal employees, they were again classified as individuals who never even had any sort of access to social security. That happened in the year 2003 during the 17th International Conference on what? Labor statisticians. So now if you see, to promote the informal sector and since formalization of informal sector is the need of the hour, what is happening? We are kind of making sure that social security benefits through various schemes of government. One is Atal Pension Yojana. Next is Pradhan Mantri Shram Yojana. Okay. All these things are being brought in to make sure that social security benefits are also being availed by the people who are put up in the informal sector. You understand? And thus, internationally, when you compare the estimates of both forms of informality, chalo, it kind of differs. For our country, India, we have a rate of 80% and 91% respectively, which is over and above the average. And if you see the latter, that is 91 is greater since formal businesses use both informal and informal personnel. That is the reason we can see many of informal sector people out there for our country, India. Clear? This is what your informal economy is all about in a short, sweet and simple manner. Is it very clear, all of you? Now, if this is the case and State Bank has said, okay, the informal sector economy is shrinking, well and good. But do you really think it is happening? It makes you think. So there is something called as misleading claim given in a newspaper. Let's quickly have a look into what that big paragraph is telling us. So now what is actually the misleading claim, guys? Do you really think that the number of informal sector people or let's say the employees have reduced? Definitely no. You cannot say it's been shrinking since 2018. If you see 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic and all, it increased even more, I can say. Somewhere or the other, this is a claim which is quite misleading the people. Yes, it is true. So the reason why this is a misleading claim, it is by this report put forward by SBI, that's what the authors who wrote this article is saying that one is lack of standard definition. If you see, we do not have a universal definitions for formal or informal sector, I can tell you. You understand? Because this particular study conducted by SBI, they use a number of different definitions of formality. They focus on digitalization, GST registration, cashless payment, etc., etc. But whatever, none of these were widely utilized. So then there is no point in saying that, chalo, there has been a huge shrink in the informal sector. Though they are this digitalization, GST registration, all these though they may be useful tools in promoting formality, formal sector also. We cannot, equate with formality on their own or even in competition. There are quite disadvantages as such. You got the point. Next is pandemic. Come on, how can you say, in the pandemic, literally we have done great. The GDP was drastically been reducing as a result of COVID's economic impact with formalization. So many people, especially who are in the formal, has brought down the informal sector again. And it has a negative influence on the informal sector when they coming to grow up more, I can tell you. So the lockdown that was put forward across various parts of our country had the greatest impact where? On industries with a high level of informal sector. So how can we say that the number of informal sector employees or the sector is be shrinking? Definitely no. So these two are the solid killer points which gives you a great justification to understand that why this is a misleading or a killatram wala claim. Did you understand? Yes, Soham? It didn't contract Soham as such. Don't tell me it contracted the informal sector stuff. Rather, it impacted them greatly, I can tell you. Next is GVA. There was a fall in the gross value added. See, be it agriculture, be it industry, be it service sector, during the COVID situation or the pandemic situation, did you really experience, a huge fall? Did you really experience that? Yes, it is. And it was said that the drop in all the informal activities, okay, that might be to blame for the informal sector's declining percentage of GVA. And I can tell you, calling this formalization as a cheating wala stuff, matlab, ekdam deceptive hai na? How can you say when the GVA of every single sector is falling, can you really call that as formalization of informal sector? No. Some kallatram is on to the core, right? Yes, Soham. As the economy starts to surge, immediately Omicron arrived. Yeah, that is true. And Omicron is not a new thing. Since 1963, I believe, there's an Italian movie titled Omicron. Can you believe? I was just reading that news today in Telegram or somewhere I read. I was wondered, surprised. Arey, Corona, Omicron, all these things. Hollywood people have done movies also on the same names. Pata nahi kya hai, away from where it is coming. Anyways, back to class. The next is role of agriculture. If you see people in agriculture, do you think they come in the formal sector? Definitely no, they're in the informal sector. And majority of people even today, as per 2021 data, also depend upon which sector, informal sector. And that too, the agriculture. So now the proportion of the workers who put up in agriculture, that literally increased drastically, I can tell you, between the period 2018 and 2020. This is as per the National Statistics Office period labor force survey. Okay. Now, agriculture is totally unorganized and informal, be it in terms of business, be it in terms of employees. So how can we say again the number of informal sector people or the employees have shrunk? Bullshit. It doesn't make a sense at all. So these reasons are very solid and valid to justify that the claim given by as per the research reports of the State Bank of India is quite misleading, right? This is what the economists, the people who wrote this article is also telling you. And that is true, yeah, because even I myself felt it, to be honest. Yes, they did. Oh, never know. Acha, you didn't know about Omicron. Yeah, there is a movie. Go and watch it. Italian movie. Now, the next important point to be considered is misconceptions regarding e-Shram portal. That is another reason why this claim is misleading. Why they say the report given by SBI is misleading is the number of employees who got registered in the electronically Shram portal. Okay, as per SBI, that's another factor for reduction in informality. But to be honest, people have enrolled, but they're not getting the benefit out of it. That is over 9.9 crore unorganized laborers they enrolled since the introduction of the portal. But after registrations, documentation of employees is not happening. And the portal's goal is never to provide any sort of social security benefits and all. There is a scheme called as Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Mandan Wala scheme. This is just a e-Shram portal just to register and get your records updated. Is that going to provide you some sort of social security benefits or welfare? No. Then what is the point? ठीक है. Yes, Soham is saying claim is a bunch of lies. That is Kallatram to the core, the peak, Soham. The real meaning of Kallatram comes here. That's true. It's a bunch of lies. See, I'm not kind of criticizing State Bank as such, but then when you conduct a study, kabhi you got to understand that you can favor the government. Nothing wrong in that. Whichever government is rule, you can favor them. But make some sense here, because we economists are also sitting here with some amount of bloody brains. We are not, ridiculous enough to conduct researches and sit over here, right? People like me or people like anybody out there who's an economist. So now, when you make a claim, make sure that the claim is somewhat valid. That adds up to the credibility. You understand? That's the whole point. See, these points are very valid. See, why this is misleading, I've given in points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, in fact. Oh my goodness, so many points. So from that, you can think for yourself. And if you see the database, do you think it is credible? How many informal sector employees or workers will give you proper data? Definitely no. Database is again not reliable. So again, there is no point in putting this or cooking up the story and showing out that come on, we are doing great with regard to formalization of informal sector. Utter rubbish or bullshit, I can tell you. Next is homogeneous entity. See, this is even more another comical thing. As far as the research is concerned, they have some assumptions and models out there. At that time, SBI considered the formal sector as a single unit. Come on, in reality, the formal sector is divided into several tiers, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, like that. How can you put it as a single unit? What homogeneous are found there? Next is informalization of formal sector. Yeah, that's again another thing. Now, I can tell you that when there has been something called as contractualization and outsourcing of labor, what happens? When you keep doing that, it will result in a large-scale informalization of the official sector. And that has been happening during the last 30 years, I can tell you, 3 decades. And this pandemic, again, what happened? It added more fuel to fire because a lot of non-permanent, casual, contract employees in the organized sector, it started increasing. All these are informal nature only. So automatically what happens? The large amount of formal sector production is really generated by informal labor. That is in the official sector, when you have a casual or contract employee, they're working in the official or formal sector. But then they're all informal in nature. In the formal or organized sector, when you have informal employees working like a contract employee or casual employee, non-permanent employee, automatically the ratio of informal sector labor is on the pinpoint. You got the point. This is something to be understood in a very wide manner. Is it very clear for all of you? It's a beautiful article, believe me. A brilliant article, I should tell you. Put across. Now, having understood the solid 8 points, why this claim given by State Bank of India as per the research study informal sector is misleading, it's very important for us to know what we can do again. See, talking about why it is misleading or the disadvantage or issues challenge is not at all enough. You got to understand why or what can be done the way forward. If you see the continuous demolition of the employer-employee relationship, that too in the labor market, that has actually blurred the line between be it formal and informal employment relationship, something to be understood. And the formal sector's whole structure, it's built upon informal employees. You have the formal structure, but then the pillars are again informal employees. So the contribution of informal employees sector is even more compared to formal sector due to these reasons. Clear? Yes, Alvi, my option my geography best. Please answer. See, if you're good in geography, go for it. If you're good in PubAd, go for it. Good in economy, go for it. Good in sociology, go for it. But geography, PubAd, and sociology, I'll tell you one thing: the competition is very high. You can expect 1,000 students competing with you, whereas few other options, it is only 100 or 200. So competition success rate will depend over there. So use a little of brain, simple as that. Now back to class. But if interested, please go ahead. I'll be no issues for that. Did you understand, all of you? So thus, I can conclude by telling you that as a result of all this, okay, contrary to what the research put forward by SBI is telling, the formal sector contribution, it has been exaggerated. Matlab, you have cooked up stories, you say, na? Similarly, the data given by SBI with regard to the formal sector's contribution, informal sector's shrinking, it is all exaggerated. While the informal sector's participation has been undervalued. The participation of informal sector within the formal sector is undervalued, and now the contribution done by formal sector for the economy is exaggerated or kind of overbuilt up. This is the biggest point to be understood. This shouldn't be the case. Clear? This is what this particular article tells you in a very short, sweet and simple manner. That's all, my young officers, with regard to this particular article. Clear? Now, moving on to the next topic of the day. From polity, you have protect, don't pander. Again, a Supreme Court will come here, guys. Very interesting this is. Why you studied this particular topic is if you see the editorial, okay, it describes how heckler's veto. I repeat, heckler's veto seems to be winning repeatedly in cases against comedians such as Munawar Farooqi. I don't think people will not like stand-up comedy. Of course, I do love it. There are a lot of stand-up comedians out there, right? So, Munawar Farooqi is quite famous stand-up comedians, I can say. Now, this article is basically focusing on the keyword called as heckler's veto. And there was a case filed against Munawar Farooqi, a comedian, guys, and he literally won the case. That's different. So now, what was the case all about? What is heckler's veto? Why it has been charged on comedians exclusively? Because they make fun of everything out there, right? So that is the whole point. So the heading is protect, don't pander. So now, before going to the news in detail, you should know what is heckler's veto. What is heckler's veto? Veto is a power, some kind of discretionary power. What is heckler? Heck. Not the other wala heck or neck, guys. It is heckler's veto. Let me quickly take you into the static portion of that. The meaning of that in simple way. A conceptual clearing. So now a notion which is called as heckler's veto. Basically, you can find them in the free speech law. So what is heckler's veto? It refers to a private actor's capacity, guys. I repeat, The capacity of a private actor but not right. हक नहीं है, वो मतलब actors वाला capacity है, private वाला people, ठीक है? And that has to be loved and annoying enough to obstruct others' free speech. See, we have freedom of choice and everything, but then it shouldn't be provoking, it shouldn't be instigating. But then sometimes, in many speeches, in many stand-up comedy stuffs and all, they do criticize here, non-common thing. So heckler's veto is basically something that you can find in the notion of freedom of speech, guys. It's a private actor's capacity, but not a right. Let me tell you that. But make sure you're not obstructing others' free speech. Clear? So by definition, heckler is who, guys? Somebody who's unable to explain his position using genuine facts, logic, and reason. Clear? That's heckler. So heckler veto is who? So the term heckler veto, combining veto and heckler together, it refers to the belief that those who disagree with a concept can prevent it from being spoken by endangering public safety. Very smart. That's what comedians does. That is, you know that, see, they're going to disagree with the concept you are telling it. So you can prevent it. How can you prevent that? You can prevent the disagreement by talking in publicly, guys. By endangering the public concept, you can do that. That's called as heckler's veto. Now, why are we studying this, my young officers? We are studying this because with regard to Munawar Faruqi, recent case studies which was conducted, they understood that. Okay. This particular person called as Munawar Faruqi, he is a stand-up comedian. What happened to this people was this BJP wala people na, okay, he was unjustly imprisoned, guys. What happened is, like, after the BJP ka functionary's son claimed he was preparing to mock the Hindu gods in a planned event. See, if that is the case, then the Muslims should come and tell that you people are trying to shut off our religion, and the Christians should come and say that you are trying to introduce Hinduism to us. Why do you want to force a person? By choice, we follow Islam, we follow Christianity, we follow Hinduism, we follow Jainism, Buddhism. It's our choice. You just can't impose things to everybody, right? This is quite sensitive. So the BJP ka functionary wala son, I don't want to use the name, so I didn't use the name here. He said that the claim about this Munawar Faruqi was he is mocking the Hindu wala god. That too in a very planned event. For the same reason, he was prevented from performing in a lot of events. He was attacked badly, indirectly, taking away his opportunities. And he was unjustly imprisoned also. That's very, very bad. Right? And after being suppressed by all these conservative and religious organizations, because they took it negatively. These BJP people took it so negatively, and they kind of, furiated the issue. Okay. After so and so conservative and religious organizations suppressions which Munawar Faruqi faced, one Tamil writer, Mr. Perumal Murugan, announced his own death in a literary sense. Oh my goodness, what was that? So that is something to be, understood. Yes, Soham, I'm blind about it. About the issue? Don't worry, I'll tell you what is it all about. So now what happened was, like, in this particular scenario, guys, we're going to study about the right to speech, expressions, of course, like that. This is from the polity perspective. Actually, this is what has happened. Clear? Now, keeping in mind this incident, guys, it's important for you to understand what is the right, or what are the fundamental rights that you should know. What is something against freedom of speech and expression? Now, in such kind of matters, in the case of Munawar Faruqi, who was stand-up comedian, and such kind of matters are brought in. See, one part of people are saying you are mocking the Hindu gods in a planned event. So because of which they retaliated, they went against him and all. Okay. So that was a sensitive issue. When such sensitive issue is brought before the court of law, okay, the ensuing decisions, whatever is being done, they'll be speech protective. But the authorities' inclination to pander to chauvinist organization, that, come on, that is going to have a very severe threat to society's free expression. You should be free enough to say what you want. How can somebody tell you what to talk and what not to talk? Recently, what happened is, like, this happened today, okay, in my university. I don't want to take names. It is something very interesting also, where, some people who are given some positions, kabhi they think that they become gods. Really, they think. They keep finding unnecessary flaws, and they keep itching others' ass like anything for no reason, just because they have been given a power suddenly like that. So those kind of things are really, stuff which is not to be encouraged. I mean, nobody did anything to me personally, but I have been seeing what they're doing to others. So this actually, made me think, how can people be so immature in handling official things like this? That's something to be understood. So I was just considering the age of people. something like, they are, why I'm telling this is, the freedom of speech and expression shouldn't be there. No, no, you cannot talk to me because, you are just an employee. I am the head, I am the dean, I am the, you are the faculty, you are that, or I'm the principal, you're the student. What nonsense. Even if it is your student also, you cannot just order and command them and treat them like a slave. Treat them with respect. That is very important. Don't you think so? That's something which is very, very important for any one of us. So here also, freedom of speech and expression is very important. You cannot come on, hold it up like that, which means you're treating the people or the opposite person as a slave, which is under any context, under any justification, it is not permitted. You understand? So that is something to be understood in a very simple manner, guys. Okay. So now talking about the freedom of speech and expression, with regard to this particular Munawar Faruqi issue, instead of appeasing individuals who threaten to take the law into their own hands, we have to make sure that it is a responsibility of the state to safeguard what? Free expression and maintain law, peace and order in the country or that particular place, because that's very important. And it's a shame that the police officers, they will urge authors, lecturers and artists to be quiet rather than taking proactive actions to preserve the so-called fundamental rights. How can you actually ask the lecturers or speakers, artists, or others to keep quiet? We have freedom of speech and expression, which is a fundamental right of the constitution of our country, India. How could you ask us to literally be quiet? It doesn't make a sense at all. You got the point. So this is something which you should actually understand. This is a very, very sensitive topic. I know what I'm talking is quite sensitive, but that is okay. We are not offending or defending anyone. We are just saying in a very diplomatic and a natural way. So why fear? क्यों डर लग रही है यार? मतलब there is a famous movie of Kajol and Salman ना, that is प्यार, what is it? प्यार किया तो डरना क्या? वो इसलिए, मतलब in the same way, it's not about प्यार. I mean, I'm talking about the other stuff. I mean, if you want to express something, we are in India. There is nothing wrong in expressing what you want in a beautiful way. You are not under anybody. Nobody can threaten you, or nobody can, come on, I'll do this to you, or I'll take off your position, I'll take off that. But nonsense, bullshit. It doesn't sound practical at all. Let me tell you that. All kind of things, in such kind of things, it happens every now and then. People don't understand. When power comes to their brains, they never when power and money comes, they forget from where they came, or they forget the basic ethics to be followed. That is the reason. Yes, so hum pyar kiya darna kya. Acha, that is a movie ka dialogue hai na, that Salman or Kajol ka old wara movie hai na. Anyways, whatever. The spirit of speech and expression mental pyar kiya ko darna kiya. Anyways, back to class. Now this is the situation, guys, with regard to freedom of speech and expression from the Munawar Faruqi stand-up comedian wala case. If you see, there was an observation done by Supreme Court. Now, many a times, if you see a lot of decisions taken by the Supreme Court, they've always made sure that they have upheld the values of what? Freedom of expression. How can they do that? How can that be done, guys? By interrupting Article 19 of the Constitution, notably the provision dealing with reasonable restraints. And for example, to quote few examples, I can tell you in the Periyar Ramayan case, what happened was like Justice Krishna Iyer, he's very smart. This person, he questions state government's overzealous, I can tell you. And you know what Mr. Justice Krishna Iyer said? He questioned the state overzealous, saying that the possibility of multiple state governments invoking powers under Section 99A of the Code of Criminal Procedure many times encourages us to insert a caveat. This is bluntly said by Justice Krishna Iyer, guys, in the Periyar Ramayana case. So now these are just to tell you examples with regard to freedom of expression and speech, guys. Just to support the substantiative point, this has been given to you. Clear? Yes, Abhi ma'am, what about your qualification? BA, MA, MPhil, PhD. Thank you. Is it enough? Abhi, you want more? I'll be doing a post-PhD also very soon, inshallah. That is, after PhD, it's called as post-PhD. Achan Alvi, what you can do is you can join an academy. I've already showed you in the beginning of the class the fees and other perspective. Use the code Nisha IAS Live. They'll give you extra discounts as well, and you can come in the personal mentoring program. Clear? DM me for whatever details you want to know. The queries based on subscriptions. Yes, तेजस, एक PhD होल्डर टीचर ने मैम मुझे इसलिए गाइड नहीं किया क्योंकि मेरी डिग्री इग्नोर से है, जबकि मैं यूजीसी में क्लियर किया है सेम सब में. अच्छा, okay. Anyways. Yes, Abhi, what is it? Will you tell me about this? I've told you about it, na, Minabi. What is not at all? Kya not at all? Huh? पता नहीं क्या है वो. Anyways, back to class. So that I can tell you that suppression. What is suppression? Suppression of what? The speech, free speech in response to threat of demonstration, or let's say protest, would mean like you are, it will show like a tantamount to negation with regard to rule of law. This is what Supreme Court stated even in S. Rangarajan Extra and P. Jagvijan Ramka case in the year 1989. These are few examples given to you to show that, see, freedom of speech expression that has to be followed in the same manner as it is jotted out in the constitution of our country, India. Clear? So that's all, guys, with regard to this particular article. Protect and don't panda wala heading. A beautiful article it is, believe me. So these are the two important articles which you have to study based on today's newspaper. Now, you have something interesting today. You know what I did? I made a point of taking few of the important extra wala news called as tidbits. Called as tidbits, because when I teach you current affairs, the entire current affairs, I follow the method called as depth analysis. General studies, editorial analysis, then tidbits and prelims facts and tidbits of the day. So let me quickly take you for the tidbits of the day. Now, a very, very interesting topic you have today, international relation, guys, from that particular category. India joins G20's Troika. So recently what happened was, like, why we studied this particular news is a country, India. We joined, one second. Hold on. Yeah, sorry. So we joined the G20 Troika, and with this, I can tell you that a country, India, started the procedure for taking over the G20 presidency next year, which means we will be in the presidency ship for the coming year 2022, guys, with regard to G20 countries. Clear? So this is why we're going to study this. So again, this is from the area international relation, which is required for you to have a better understanding. Now, since India has joined G20 as a Troika member, what could be the benefit, guys? Since India is a Troika member, I can tell you that a country, India, will work closely with whom? With Indonesia and also Italy. Why do we want to do that, guys? Point number one, to ensure consistency, or let's say continuity of the agenda of the G20. That's a very important thing. Second is, from December 2022, that is next year, 1st December. Okay, it is said that a country, India, will assume G20 wala presidency from Indonesia. And we will start convening the G20 Leaders Summit for the very first time in our country, India, in the 2 years coming, in another 2 years. That is 2023. Great achievement for our country. Now, kudos to our country for the biggest achievement we have. See, sometimes when we have a good achievement for our country, India, should learn to appreciate it. Always thinking about poverty, unemployment, that issue, this issue, we kind of think, oh my goodness, India is always like that. As an EM. You gotta encourage your country as well sometimes when you see such kind of stuff. So G20 ka stuff is something to celebrate, I can tell you. And if you see, with regard to the G20 summit and all, in the year 2020, in the month of October, current affairs I taught you, the country Italy, hosted the so-called G20 summit this year. Whereas that time, when the G20 summit was going on, India was not that happy because India had raised the issue of Afghanistan's future following the takeover by Taliban. We knew the relationship India had with Afghanistan, right? Because we were very close to Mr. Ashraf Ghani was the president, and Taliban also, though India knew the relationship of Afghan and Taliban was not good. To be on the safer side, what did India do? Very diplomatically, high-back the relationship they maintained with Taliban. For the fact that Taliban is close to Pakistan, which means, close to China, and again Afghanistan is close to Pakistan, automatically what happened? Pakistan will inform China and Taliban directly China. X, Y, Z, whatever, the factor called China is coming, the factor called Shaguni is coming there, which will be at the stake of our country, India. They'll frame it up in such a way that India is a culprit or India has been deceptive in this. To beat Afghanistan to Taliban, they'll do it like that. And especially to Afghanistan, if they know that, it will be a matter of trust or breach of trust as such. So India played a very safe game during the Afghanistan issue. Clear? Yes, Abhi. Troika means three people working together. Here, three countries working together, Abhi. That is Indonesia, Italy, and India. All the three I's. So Troika is all three I's together. What is that? India, Indonesia, Italy. Simple as that. Clear? Yes, Priya, where were you, my girl? Ah. Now, talking about G20 summits, I can tell you Indonesia now, in the year 2021, that is yesterday, December 1, it took over the G20 presidency, guys. Okay, that is Italy was the having the presidency, and yesterday what happened was like Indonesia took over the presidency, and in the coming months, okay, it is said that Indonesia, being the having the presidencyship of G20 countries, will hold rounds of discussions at various levels among the members of G20 before they even start or convening the G20 Leaders Wala Summit scheduled for the next year, October 30, 31, 2022. And next year summit, chalo, by December will be the president, India will be having the presidencyship. So before that, since Indonesia is there, it said that in the G20 presidency or summit, it will be organized along the overall theme of recover together, recover stronger. Because it's in the context of COVID-19 pandemic. So recover together, recover stronger. Clear? So this is to be understood, my young officers. Now, this is the current affairs which you should understand based on this particular topic. But then if you see, I'm talking about G20, G20, G20. Don't you think so? It's quite important for you to have a quick understanding of what is actually G20, guys? Yes, it is. That's a part of the static or the current affairs perspective, Hannah. So here we go. So basically G20 is an informal group. It's not a formal group, and it has 19 countries, a group of 19 countries and the European Union, guys. And they also have representatives of International Monetary Fund and also the World Bank. So it's a big grouping. Of course, a country, India, is a part of it. And since G20 is an informal group or a political symposium of so many countries, it does not have a permanent secretary or headquarters. And the membership will comprise of, let's say, the mix of world's largest advanced and emerging economies, which represent two-thirds of the world's population, then 85% of GDP, 80% of global investment, and also 75% of global trade. That's how it works actually. Clear? What is the relationship of a country, India and G20? Very important. See, now today India is holding a very important position with regard to G20. We are one of the founding member. So because we're the founding member of G20 countries, India has used this platform to raise so much of issues, guys, which are critically important, and those that are impacting the most vulnerable populations across the globe, not just India. Second is the Global Economic Agenda Making Forum, that is again to be presided over by a country, India, in the year 2022 December. So this is a challenge and also an opportunity for our country. Why? Because we have to foster or boost up our presence in international arena or platform to get better support for developing our own country again, thereby contributing to the world's growth or progress with global peace. But though this is a fact also, the rising toll of unemployment rates and poverty in domestic portion, that's quite hard to take the lead effectively. Because of that, though you become the take up the presidency of G20 in the next year also, it becomes hard to take the leadership effectively, guys, because these problems are the biggest drawback that has to be sorted out. You understand? So this is what you should study from this particular topic for today. Clear? Let's quickly have a look into the other topic, my young officers. Yes, here we go. The next topic for the day is from the area prelims facts. Prelims wala facts hai. So here we go, my young officers. So now this is from the category governance. In fact, it's from the category scheme, I can tell you. From the Press Information Bureau, this news has been taken by me. It is called as Ujjwala Scheme. Ujjwala, the Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, na? With regard to the electricity LPG, LPG wala connections. So now what happened was, like, the context why you study the Ujjwala scheme of Pradhan Mantri is you could suddenly see a sprout in new distribution just before the 2019 general election, as per the plea of right to information. And the target of the Ujjwala scheme was to release 8 crore LPG. This LPG is not liberalization, privatization, globalization, rather liquefied petroleum gas. Clear? It was to release 8 crore LPG connections to the deprived household, and the targeted year was 2020. But if you see, yeah, because taking into consideration the elections and other perspective, yeah, it was achieved by the year, August 2019. And 7 months ahead of the March 2020 deadline. So the work was fatafat fir shuru ho gayi, bahut fast hai. And now, because of the success that you saw in the Ujjwala scheme version 1, in August 2021, what did the PM do? Our PM Modi again launched phase 2 of the Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, or let's say Ujjwala version 2 scheme. Like your Chitti Robowala scheme, na? Ujjwala ka, version 2 wala scheme is brought in. Anyways, so what are the objectives, guys? What could be the objective of Ujjwala scheme? One is empowering women and protecting their health. See, when women are cooking in their home, they tend to use the firewoods or the traditional wala cooking. So what happens? Indoor pollution is the highest. They are inhaling smoke, which causes a lot of issues for the respiratory organs and also other perspective. And sometimes if you see the people having the smog and asthma, the asthma wala issues and all, it leads to death. So due to this Ujjwala scheme, you are also able to reduce the number of death in India because of unclean cooking fuel. And if you see mostly children with less of immunity and adult people in the home, when you're cooking at home, not only the mother or the women who's cooking out there, the entire family members get affected. So through this, preventing young children from a significant number of acute respiratory illness caused due to air pollution by burning fossil fuel has been reduced. So all these are the objectives of Ujjwala scheme, especially version number 2. Clear? Yes, yes, Priya. Women and health sahi hai. वो exactly. Like a health and glow, it is women and health, Priya. True, true. That is Ujjwala scheme. Yes, Abhi. Is there questions to answer like MCQ and all? Yes, Abhi. Towards the end of the class, you have means answering practice. Then 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. and 7:30 to 8:30. Exclusively, you can poll the MCQs in the Unacademy app with the proper 360-degree coverage explanation. Also, I'll be doing it. So catch me up there as well. Clear? Chalo, sahi hai. Let me get back to class. So now, what are the features of Ujjwala version 2 scheme, guys? Now, as far as this particular scheme is concerned, it is said that they provide a financial support of rupees 1,600 for each LPG connection to people who belong to below poverty line ka household. So that is a good thing I can tell you. Yeah, they're giving more than 1,500 at least, guys, for every LPG connection to the people category because they require that. And along with the deposit-free LPG connection, there is no any deposit and all if you want to take a connection. Ujjwala version 2 will also provide the first refill and hot plate free of cost to the beneficiaries, which means it is completely free. When it is over, guys, again, a refill is completely free of cost initially. So multiple things like this are also happening, which is indeed, something to be understood or let's say noted. Clear? And now, for example, if you're a vendor, then you'll be supported with loans under the Mudra scheme. You all know about the Mudra scheme, na? Taran, Kishore, Shishu, all those stuff. Yeah. So under different categories based on eligibility, yeah, under Mudra loan, the vendors will also be supported. And at the same time, they are also very particular that they'll make the vendors eligible for electronic cart licenses. So when you're made eligible for that, automatically what happens, you're also making them to learn to improve the hygiene or neat conditions in preparation of food and also aesthetics of vending. So for 5 days of training, they'll be given 500 per day for 4 days of training. That is how it works. Clear? Encouraging them to come and take the training to deliver the best results. This is called as outcome oriented or let's say output oriented Vala training. Clear? So what you can do, guys, to make the Ujjwala scheme quite, successful, even more like the first Wala scheme. This scheme, though we have it for the BPL households, also should be extended to the poor households in urban and semi-urban slum areas. A brilliant point, guys. See, when you talk about the below poverty level category, when you talk about the poor people, only in rural area it comes, and they were focusing on rural area. Why? In urban area, you don't have people out there. In urban area, you don't have poor people. What nonsense? Come on, you do have it over there. So if you see in urban area, because of excess of migrations from rural to urban, you can find, urban slums put up over there. So this Ujjwala version 2 scheme should also be extended to the people who are poor and who are staying in the urban and also semi-urban slum area. And it is not just the rural population alone. It is very important that point number 2. There should be a need for achieving a higher LPG coverage of the populations. For that, you have to provide connections to households who do not even have LPG. Let them be rural or urban area. You got to make sure that you are providing them with LPG connection. And thus making sure that you're entering the 12 digit biometric Aadhaar number of all the adult family members of existing as well as new beneficiaries. Why? Because to make deduplication effective, guys, and take proper measures in distributors ka software, so they will restrict issuance to ineligible beneficiaries. That is to avoid kallatarams and to make sure that things are proper out there. This has been done. And this particular news I've taken from the Indian Express, guys. I didn't take from Hindu. Not only this, even there was another news also, na? That is also taken from PIB only. Yeah. This is taken from, the scheme is taken from, Indian Express, plus the initial explanation is taken from PIB as well. Clear? Yes, Priya ma'am. Is it like people take an action but they don't continue? See, Priya, in duplication, what happens is like, they take an actions. Okay, for the sake of getting the benefit, at least 1 month they get free, they go and get it, and then they don't continue. That is true. And some people, they continue also. Because they anyway created the at free of cost, all these kind of stuff. So they do that. The real people get eliminated in the process. That is something that happens. That is why they are making it more transparent and structured. Clear? So now I'll be quickly taking you for the next editorials of the day as well. So here we have a question, that is, suppression of free speech by yielding to threat has become an unfortunate norm. Discussed. So this is from the second editorial article of the day. Make sure that you are going through this. It's quite important as well. Clear? The class is not over, guys. You still have one more editorials to go. That is yesterday. Remember, I couldn't take yesterday. So fatafat, I'll take it today and finish it for you. Okay, so here we go with the next editorials, of the day, guys, from the month of December. That was December 1, I can tell you. Here we go. Quickly, fatafat, let's quickly, take you to that. All ready? You want to break for 5 minutes? I don't think. People are so active. No break. Na aisa nahi hai, ma'am. Break nahi hai. No chutti. Hai na? Yes, Priya? So tell me, so how's Andaman? I think Andaman should be pretty good in this weather. Because it's December, बहुत ठंडा ठंडा है ना. हाँ, it is of course rainy, no doubt in that. सब कुछ, Andaman is always a training wala destination here. No doubt in that. Let me tell you that. So now we have another interesting, article out there. Yes, they did. Andaman knows, of course, majority knows Hindi. Yaar. It's like a, see, you can find Tamilian, Telugu, wala mixture of people there, and Hindi is a common language for them. But Andaman Hindi thoda alag hai, not like UP and Delhi wala standard Hindi. थोड़ा का colloquial local वाला हिंदी है, but it is Andaman का people का हिंदी है. It is like, even I learned, I had a friend from there, a very close friend of mine for so many years. So I learned that वाला हिंदी from them only. That's thoda ka alag hai. They be, see, for taking bath, you say, what is it? Nahana, something like that. I mean, what is that? But they say gusal karo. I mean, pata nahi kya hai wo. I mean, it's quite different. Yeah. So here we go, my young officers. We have another interesting article out there. So now from yesterday's newspaper, these two articles we missed out. So let me quickly take you to that. First topic deals with IR, that is international relation. Afghanistan, the rise of narco terrorist state. Second, small grant but a big opportunity for local bodies. So now this is a very interesting article which you should know, guys, especially with regard to Afghan and all, because it's the hit list topic out there. Don't you think so? Yes. So here we go. Now, though it is from the area IR, that is international relations also, approximately I can, or let's say accurately, I can place this topic because the keyword narco terrorist is coming. Terrorist. Security is brought in. So it comes under the category security challenges. Clear? So what is the context of why are we studying this particular article? Is because this article is actually discussing the rise of a terrorism called as narco terrorism. That too, currently in Afghanistan is led by Taliban. So there is something called rise of narco terrorism in Taliban led Afghanistan. And now, if that is the case, what can be the potential threat for our country, India as a whole? Because see, Talibans are not that good that they will today smile to us and tomorrow they'll ditch us also. India knows that well. So we got to be very careful. We never know when they will have again very close ties with China. That's a big threat for us as a whole. So keeping in mind that particular perspective only, this article is discussed. Clear? It's a beautiful article again. It's a big wala article. So let's quickly have a look into this article in a short, sweet and simple manner. But now what is more important here is how are we, one second guys. How are we actually going to protect our country, India? Let's say what are the implications because of the rise of narco terrorist terrorism from the Taliban led Afghanistan, the impact of that and what we can do to protect us. and also at the same time outreach to the Afghans. Those kind of points are quite important for us to discuss as a whole. Clear? Now, before going to the topic of discussion, see what is the keyword here, guys? Narco terrorism. Right. So in Afghanistan, the Taliban led Afghanistan, you can see the rise of narco terrorism, which is and the implications for our country India is what we're going to discuss. So let's quickly have a look into what is narco terrorism in simple terms. So now, when there is a link between narcotics and terrorism, what is narcotics? The drug-related perspective, don't you think so? Yes, this drug is really causing a lot of issues for the entire globe, especially a country, India, especially the state of Kerala as well. I've told you this before again. The children who are 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 18, they have been targeted the most because once they become addicted, they cannot do anything from the ganjas to the other packetwala drugs to the the ampules to the syringes. Oh, thank God cocaine is not that popular, but still these are also dangerous. They kind of crush the tablets of medicines. That's what they do, you know. So now, when there is a link or connection between terrorism and narcotics, that's called as narco terrorism. So narcotics ka short form is narco. Simple terms. Clear? Yes, Soham, Dam Maro Dam. Acha, the movie Dam Maro Dam. Ha, Deepika, not Deepika did a song in that. It's Abhishek Bachchan and who else? I forgot. You can actually take that as an example. Anyways, whatever. So now if you see the concept of this narco terrorism, it is actually from the realization that drugs trafficking and terrorism, they are highly connected. See, when you're intoxicated, alcohol also, guys, you don't enter into terrorism fast. But drugs is something, if you don't get that, even if a person is a continuous alcoholic person, even if he or she doesn't drink also, they will not become so wild, like how a drug wali reacts, you know. So now using that stuff or using that so-called weakness of the people who are addicted, and they make the people addicted, they'll be ready to do anything, even if they do not want to go against the country or do not want to go for terrorism also, they need is drugs out there. So you tend to do anything for that. That becomes a part and parcel of your life like that. No way to help you at all. Death is the end result for that. It's a proven stuff also. Okay. So now this narco terrorism, it is actually telling us that drugs trafficking and terrorism, they are strongly interconnected. And any narco terrorist organization, if you see, they employ both terrorism and the drug trade. That's actually instigating people to be a drug addict. At the same time, they get influenced and they will keep doing whatever they say. That is the whole point why they kind of focus on the drug trade also. And to be honest, the ultimate goal of this concept called as narco terrorism is what to destroy the country or destabilize the country through activities like terrorism, or let's say to undermine the country through illegal drug trade. So entire the country will be thrashed, people will be highly addicted to drug and anything can happen, always violence, that is etc. So either you're focusing on terrorism or on drug trade, illegal wala, or a combination of both called as narco terrorism to completely shut off any country as a whole. This is basically the idea between what is narco terrorism in a very simple way. Clear? Yes, Satyam? Taliban. See, that's what I told you now. Taliban led Afghanistan doesn't do all these things. Afghanistan, you can see a rise of narco terrorism. That's what they're doing. Narcotics and drugs, narcotic drugs and, terrorism together. No doubt in that. So now these are important points to be noted. The reason why I didn't want to miss this article is this is a very interesting and an important hot cake of the day which you should know. So yesterday we had some technical issues while taking the class, and you know what happened? Class was going on, but suddenly it stopped. So that is why after taking the today's session, the editorials and the other news, I thought I should have a quick look into yesterday's editorials. That is for your better understanding. Clear? So now, having understood what is narco terrorism, here we go. Use of illegal drug trade, or let's say narcotic trafficking and terrorism. Why? Because you want to influence state policy. Or you can have the same usage of both together to sponsor terrorism. Or you can call narco terrorism as use of terror or violent activities to control narcotics trade. Any three definitions are, all the definitions are giving you the same meaning only, no doubt in that. Clear? 1, 2, and 3. One second. Now we are moving into the most important news, guys. Why this narco terrorism, especially in Afghanistan? And since the issue is like Taliban occupied Afghanistan, the role of various countries, be it India, be it China, be it Pakistan as well, how it is going to impact us, how is impacting the others as a whole. So it's a combo package, guys, of all the countries coming up together. I can tell you. Clear? So now if you say narco terrorism in Afghanistan, there is a potential threat, don't you think so? So according to UNODC estimate, it is said that the opium production which happens in Afghanistan, it has literally surpassed or crossed 6,000 tons for the sixth year in a continuous row. Oh my goodness. So what is the meaning of that? It's a potential threat, guys. And the narco terrorism in Afghanistan is also that is supporting this. I mean, that this all this supporting that as a whole. Because of this, I can tell you the result of this, there has been a steady increase in worldwide opium prices. And if you see the exponential output of opiates by 8% they've increased. And I can tell you as far as opium is concerned, okay, Taliban controls 85% of the world's opium growing land. Now 85%, which means making them the world's most powerful narcotics gang. Oh my goodness, come on, it's the Talibanis out there again. So this is a potential threat because now Afghanistan is led by Taliban. They can do anything and everything to make sure that people are also in narcotics trafficking and also into other terrorism activities by force as well. Willingly, maybe Afghan Wali will not go, but Taliban will threaten and force them and will make them addict to all these things. Clear? That could be the next strategy they can use. That's why they said that narco terrorism is on the rise in Taliban led Afghanistan. That is in Afghanistan only led by Taliban today. And according to a report by the US Special Inspector General for Afghanistan Reconstruction Guide, the cigar, okay, not the other wala cigar. I know cigar, you'll think about the other wala cigar only, but this is the US, Special Inspector General for Afghanistan Reconstruction. It is said that, as per the report, illegal or illegitimate drugs, they account for 60% of Taliban annual earning. You tell me what we should do. These people take a gun, fatafat inside their mouth. You should shoot seriously for doing such kind of activities. How pathetic! And if you see a country, India's fear of ungoverned regions and a lawless Afghanistan, come on, that's being a major source of domestic security danger. And come on, that's becoming a reality again. Don't you think so? Yes, it is. कुछ नहीं doubt है, कोई नहीं, or let's say no doubt at all. 101% something to be understood in a realistic manner. है ना? Yes, Soham? Yeah, kabhi kabhi something like that. Something worse than that, Soham. I can't just say it's just the barbaric activity. Something worse than that. Now, what are the issues that we are seeing in the Taliban-led Afghanistan today? Because Taliban, see, basically they want to gain income, and that too from the illegal wala cash crop. Then the cases of smuggling and arrest of huge consignments of narcotics in India have increased. So now, though Taliban want to gain income from illegal cash crop, as far as the country India is concerned, smuggling, then arrest of huge consignment of narcotics. Recently, Shah Rukh Khan's son Arya Khan was arrested, but they said he is not involved. They're trying to put a blame on him, etc., etc., whatever. But like that, a lot of people, and genuinely, they're also involved, guys. It's also there, which who belongs to country India, and this is the condition. So now, Afghanistan has dramatically increased its, methamphetamine manufacturing also. Come on. So if you want to transfer opiates, again, the Taliban will employ a variety of smuggling methods. So completely फटाफट फिर शुरू हो गई problem. I can tell you it's not working in the proper manner. And Taliban, even they transport its products to Western Europe via the Caucasus and the Balkans and then to North America. And if you see, the Pakistani security personnel facilitate the southeastern route by collaborating with Taliban and smuggling syndicates, and that's called as Tanzims in the region. Oh my goodness, just see guys how it is working. We never even imagine how can these kind of things work, but you see it's been possible by these people exclusively. That is again a reality to be understood. Clear? Yes, so what is it? But ma'am, if I'm not mistaken, their religion prohibits the direction. Then why they encourage it if they follow the doctrine? See here, religion doesn't matter at all. No religion, be it Muslim, be it Hindu, be it Christianity, or Buddhism, Jainism, whatever, or Sikhs or whatever. No one permits, or let's say no one encourages, or no holy books tells you to be addicted to drugs, especially drugs or alcohol or whatever it is. So which means you cannot say just because they're born into the Muslim creed, or let's say the Muslim community, they should be real Muslims. A real Muslim is not somebody by birth, somebody who does things by the action. And are they following the principle that is to be followed by their birth? That is what is more important, my young officers. That is what which makes a lot of sense also. You understand? Just because they are belonging to their community, their brains have been dirtied. Their brains have been dirtied with all these thoughts. So how can you call them, as Muslims there when they are into all this illegal drug trafficking and stuffs like that? Has any religion told to kill each other? And again, Afghanistan, you find Hindu wala people in Afghan or Christian wala people? No, it's again the Muslim. What is Taliban doing? Muslims and Muslims are fighting against each other. They are killing them. They're harming them. So can you say that the religion is a factor there? I do not know why they're called as Muslim, which is absolutely a bullshit or a blunder. In nowhere they deserve, or let's say they ought to be called like that, because the activities doesn't show not even 0.1% of the Islamity over there or the practices over there. See, Soham Talibs is because the Taliban doesn't mean that the Talibs means it is Islam or Muslim community. What nonsense! Come on, how could you even say? So Afghanistan Afghani means it is like that. ऐसा नहीं है यार. Come on, that and all is the short form of Talib, Talibis, Afghanistan, Afghanis, something like that. Clear? Now, the next important subheading from this particular sensitive issue is the global concerns of rising narcotism in Afghanistan. See, if you see, now since Taliban has captured Afghanistan, what happens is like Taliban appear to be taking advantage of the international community's vacuum and the disinterest, I can tell you. That is true. Because see, now be it India, be it US, be it UK, be it Australia, nobody wants to associate with Afghanistan. So there is a whole vacuum present there and nobody's interested. Even US, who was a huge supporter of Afghan, they withdrew their troops from there due to some reasons, and now even US is also not there with Afghan. So now Taliban is ruling them, and now they have taken the situation as an advantage, I can tell you. And if you see between the years 2001 and 2020, okay, what happened was like it projected or showed the worldwide inability to establish an acceptable counter narcotic policy. Why? Just to rein in the narco trade beginning Afghanistan, which might be partly to blame also, I can tell you. Yeah, it is. Whatever. And thus the emergence of a state called as narco terrorist state will have great implications, guys, for US, Europe, and the region. Of course, for a country, India, also implication is there, but especially for US, Europe, and the entire region, no doubt in that. So we should make sure that narco terrorist state is not being emerged. We're not going to support the narcotics and terrorism emergence of a state out there. Clear? Though it is happening also. Fine? Yes, is it very clear, all of you? Perfect. Sahi. So now, having understood the scenario in this sense, okay, the UNODC, they were not able to accomplish a slight reduction, even in the area under poppy cultivation and let's say opium production. And there were so many reasons, guys. See, for a lot of reasons, with regard to the efforts of promoting alternative livelihood program, encouraging farmer to plant other income crops, almost it failed. They were quite interested with all those opium productions only. And if you see in Kabul, the central government now, they has minimal authority, very less authority, and the international community has urged a punishing, strategy as well there, because they're still doing something that is not to be done out there, but still they're doing it over there. That is why it fetched them all this stuff. Clear? And in US, you know what happened? Production increased. Oh my goodness! And that too, when US and all came out, production increased of this all this opium and other drugs. I'm telling you, as US and the international community worked to get rid of Afghan quagmire. Now it is Taliban controlled area, and they can do anything and everything they want. And because there is a vacuum out there, there is no gap to be filled by US or any other countries. Now, complete Afghanistan ruled by Taliban will be taken control by them, and they will keep doing this more and more. They are saying, and this stuff which is leading to a widespread agreement that drugs can reduce society is happening actually, because the money that you get from narco trade is maybe used to fund again organized crime and terrorism. So you're kind of promoting this kind of activity which shouldn't be done at all, because at the end of the day, global peace, war, all this stuff now is a big question mark. No war, but global peace and trade is important. But it's not happening, because these are kind of showing ways in which more threat is put out there. Clear? Now, what about the implications for our country, India, my young officers, with regard to India and narco terrorism? See, there is a lot of threat, I can tell you. The potential threat for our country, India, is, see, one is porous borders. Next is state-sponsored wala terrorism. So, what is porous borders? We all know that both lamba or bada wala country we have, है ना? इतना लंबा है यार, seriously. So if you see our country India, I was just kidding. But the reality, we should be proud of that. Our country India, we have, let's say, 15,000 kilometer porous border and a 7,500 kilometer coastline. And now, countries like China, Pakistan, Bhutan, Myanmar, Afghan, Nepal, and Bangladesh, come on, all of them are on the same side of those lengthy boundaries. So now, pick up China, pick up Pakistan, pick up Afghanistan, because now Taliban is there. Don't you think so? They are quite threatening for us, and narco terrorism can easily enter us. Of course, it is already there in our country, India, except for the fact that terrorism is more, but rather drugs is more, narcotic is more, I can say. But slowly, terrorism also will come in if this goes like this. Next is state-sponsored terrorism. That's another threat. If you see, narco terrorism is a key component of whom, guys, Pakistan state-sponsored cross-border terrorism. And many of them they used to fund and conduct asymmetric warfare against the neighbors like India also. Now it's a very big potential threat, guys, because of narco terrorism. Next is inefficient policy making. So many a times the terrorist and militant actions now they are a problem in India, because if you see, as far as terrorism is concerned, China and Pakistan do support it. So now it is a big issue, right? And it is not at all a surprise that few Indians, they see the importation of ganja, opium, hashish, and other drugs as a concern, because secessionism, terrorism, and insurgency. All these have occupied the thoughts of policymakers and the general people. Ganja, opium, hashish, and all is quite famous. That ganja is very, very famous. Get that tobacco ka stuff. Even 2 days back, my neighbor in my apartment, two couples came, 21, 22-year-old girl and boy. Okay, one is a law student, and this boy, they got married early. Pata nahi kya hai wo hai, maybe the family got them married. My goodness, barabar bilkul partying, chilling. Okay, that is to be understood. Ganja, that to high level. How we found out this is, let them drink, die, or whatever it is. We can only advise people. We cannot enter into privacy. There is a common area in apartment that is opening the door and doing it. So we have other flats in one block, right? Itna smell hai yaar. I almost fainted, I can tell you. My mother almost, she couldn't open the door, I can tell you. It was so pathetic that, 1 week I thought something else is happening, because I didn't know this is a thing. The other day, almost I fainted when I got inside my home. 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the night, 9 o'clock in the night. Oh my goodness. Then left, right, center I gave. Bloody hell, what do you think? I'll put in police, I said. Seriously. You go, die, you do anything inside your home. Why are you torturing the other people who are staying as a family here? Opening the door, because even those people, they cannot take up the smell if they do that inside the home. So coming in, disturbing others. Now, because they got scared, you know what they do? They don't put the room spray. they mix the santoor or sindoor wala hand wash na in that, and then they mix it with the perfume. Okay, this is what they do, and they kind of spray it everywhere. So perfume also has a limit. This will give you a very wild ka smell. This is what they do. But I went and gave again also nice. I said, I'll put you all out of the apartment. I said, I'll lodge a police complaint and make sure that you have been threatened. Then they were like, I'll tell you, family, I said, though your husband, wife also will, take proper action against you, because you're kind of, children do come top. What happens is like, a child can get easily spoiled. What is that smell? Maybe they, but they get curious to know what is that, what is that, what is that. What if he or she kind of get attracted to that or whatever? So you're kind of spoiling the morality of the child also there, right? You understand? Such kind of bullshit stuff shouldn't be there. That's what I said. See, they're not small children. They're not 18 or, let's say below 18 to and they're at least about 20, and they got married also. So then what is the point? As if you're छोटा वाला बच्चा है ना, वो दूध का बच्चा है, ऐसा नहीं है ना. They know what is right, what is wrong. Then they don't even agree that they do it. That's the worst part. You did something, Anna. You agree. Kuch nahi. No. I didn't even do that. I didn't even do that. How dare you could say that we did this? No. What happened was like one person asked them, the smell of that is coming. How can you say that? That girl asked, okay. You know what the person replied? With my mouth I'm saying. Can't you hear? The girl was asking, how can we say that? How can you accuse that we did this? With my mouth I'm saying. Can't you understand? That was literally a swag wala reply given. Seriously. And one more thing, when these people are so high, they do anything. They're professional kinds of people, I believe, that they do anything. And, it is not safe for the neighbors, anybody out there. We never know what happens. The world has become like that. So after something has happened, there is no point in sitting and weeping out there. Prevention is always better than cure. That's always important. And such kind of things, in the apartment is so pathetic. You live in a gated community where people of high societies and people of some cultures do stay. Inside your home, you do anything. You fight, you roll, you beat each other, you drink, you smoke, you do whatever you want. Nobody is gonna question you. But in the common area and all, if you do, who will keep quiet? I mean, this happened again 2 days back. Only nice I gave every single day. Na fatafat. Such kind of things happens here. Seriously. Anyways, is it very clear, all of you? Here's Himanshu, Priya, Soham, Abhi. Yeah. Okay. Now, the next important point to be understood with regard to the potential threat, okay, of our country, India, and the narco terrorism emergence is that, see, the position of our country, India's position between triangle and crescent is, we are inconveniently placed, guys, between the golden crescent and the golden triangle. You know what is that golden crescent, golden triangle? Golden triangle means it's an area, a defined area where three countries, Thailand, Laos, and Myanmar is intersecting. That's golden triangle. Clear? So now between golden crescent and golden triangle, now we are inconveniently placed. Be it golden crescent countries or golden triangle wala countries, not they are two of the world's most active hotbeds of illegal or collateral wala drug trafficking. And we are inconveniently placed also. We are between them now. And now if you see, until an early 21st century, okay, when Afghan has overtaken the Golden Triangle as the world's leading producer, the Golden Triangle produced majority of world's heroin. Cocaine, heroin and all is the next level. Ganja, opium, hashish, all these things are chota things. The next level is heroin. Oh my goodness. The moment if somebody comes to know you have cocaine and heroin in your hand, na, like this, they'll take you and put you inside jail. They're all high level stuff. You will not get it anywhere here. Local people cannot get it very fast. It's very costly even for a small wala packet also. It's very costly. But when people become addicted, what happens? They tend to use that. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, it goes like that. So drugs is something, guys, which has to be completely banned. And, I wish if there is no production of even ganja at all. Seriously. Because even that stupid thing is causing an issue. Now, the next important point with regard to the potential threat of narco terrorism and country India's terror funding. Now, Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir ka issue we know, the POK, Pakistan occupied Kashmir, and the issue we have with our country India. So now the lion's share of the source of terror funding in Kashmir again. that is from the borders in Pakistan through the notorious agency ISI. That's how it is said. Because the ISI again, they get their income through narco financing, which again comes from the control of narcotics trade from the Afghanistan and Pak region, that is Afghanistan Pakistan ka region. And many times, why Pakistan is featured as a country in the grey list. You know why? Even as per the 2021 data, I can tell you, as per the FATF, Financial Action Task Force, even today Pakistan is placed in the grey list. No doubt in that. Because they're still found to do money laundering activity and terrorist funding activity. And yes, it is very rightly said that Pakistan being a neighbor and having so much of Cold War issues with us, narco terrorism is on the rise there, and it is a threat for our country because they're a major culprit. Because the highest per capita heroin addiction rate in the world is from Pakistan. Oh my goodness. And again, don't tell me that Pakistan has a lot of Muslims out there, so they don't do that. See, Muslim or Islam is a religion. Okay, so people and following things, or let's say people doing this activity under the shadows of the religion is absolutely ridiculous, a blunder by people to be cut off like anything. So because Pakistan, if you have any sort of notion that be it Taliban, be it Afghan, be it Pakistan, all Islam or Muslim community, please don't mistaken for that. It's just that they are doing all these things in the shadow of one particular religion, guys. Simple as that. Religion has nothing to do. Yes, Soham, they do misinterpret it. No doubt in that. They do misinterpret. Clear? Why I'm telling you this, see, many times people fail to understand the reality. So sometimes, kabhi kabhi, it is important that I do let you know the reality as a whole. Simple as that. ठीक है? Yes, yes, my young officers. Am I audible and visible to you people? Perfect. Clear? Now, there is another important point to be noted here. You know something? As I told you, Pakistan is though they have the highest per capita heroin addiction rate in the world also. The ISI, the Islamic State stuff, they pump drugs in Jammu and Kashmir with two-fold intentions. You know why? One is drug peddling fund, terrorist activity. When you have a drug peddling fund, so automatically terrorist activity comes over there. On the other hand, there is always a strong correlation between receptive attitude towards jihadism and drug use. Jihad hai na? Wo isliye, wo again, you can see two different terms coming up there as a whole. Clear? Next, Northeastern region. Oh my goodness. Northeast is the hub for us for the development perspective. It is indeed more important. But if you see the drugs that you get from Myanmar and Bangladesh, it has a direct bearing on what? The funding of terrorism and also extremist activities in Northeast, I can tell you. And if you see a series of intermittent seizures in our country, India, called as Yaba tablets, which is meant for Bangladesh, indicates that there has been multiple exit points along the borders in northeastern states like Assam, Tripura, and Meghalaya. And that the proceeds of this drug trade finds it ways to again have insurgent outfits. Oh my goodness, even in the northeastern part of our country, India, have a look into these points, guys. It should actually give you an understanding of what it is in reality all about, right? Now, the next important point from this article is what are the concerns for our country, India, from Taliban? So now India, it lies between the world's two main opium producing regions, as I told you, Golden Crescent, Golden Triangle. And that is indeed seen as an increase in seizures of Afghan origin heroin also, guys. So Afghan opiates, opium production, okay, it is high and that has been entering our country, India, from where, from the convoluted sea and the air routes for decades because that consists of Pakistan, Sri Lanka, African nations. like Mozambique and South Africa and Qatar, even Middle East country also. And now the control of Taliban is having of Kabul, that has also sparked a flood for free for all narcotic smuggling, and it has become a kind of trend of the day, I can say, and that is kind of destabilizing the security for country India. And if you see some of the anti-India organizations like Lashkar-e-Taiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed, who are currently active in Afghanistan again, for example, if they're able to get hold of money from such narco trafficking, come on, India's efforts to bring it is really going to be in vain. Clear? And there are huge concerns for our country India also, guys, from Taliban. Let me tell you that. So now what you could do for the see, we have been talking about the issues, the challenges, bilkul like that. What you can really do is what is more important, right? The solutions out there for this big issue, the possible solutions. See, I cannot say the exact solution or let's say the way forward, but what I felt, or let's say from the analysis, the possible solutions, it is a probability again, okay, which can be put forward is a legal, accountable, powerful, and inclusive administration. Kabul is the cure to this problem because Kabul has also been captured. So if we're able to treat Kabul in a better way, it is a solution. And second is we have a criminal justice system. Let us restructure it because we have to restructure with forensic science playing a very, very important role because then only you can combat or reduce narco terrorism. Forensics is very important. And the next is the Afghan state's economic collapse, okay, and escalating humanitarian disaster. All these stuff, one, two, three, sub should be avoided or eliminated. So these three possible solutions, don't you think so? It makes a sense. Of course, it does. It does make some sense, Hannah. So that's the whole point. And you can even reach out Afghan because now Taliban is occupied Afghan, but then you can reach out to the Afghans and raising their voices in support of a government which is quite genuine and acceptable to them would be a good start for them also to come out of the trap of Taliban as well. And India should start seeking out new partnership in the Central, West, and South Asia. Why? Because we need to form a willing coalition so things will work in a faster manner. Clear? And India should also take initiative and reach out to Afghans guys from all walks of life, which consists of women, civil society, political leaders, business organizations, because currently they are in a trap situation under Taliban. They also need to come out, right? And thus a collapse state in the neighborhood paired with all this narco terrorism and all, come on, it cannot be overlooked. You've got to do something for it because today if that's the problem of that country, tomorrow it can affect you as well or our country as well. So a collapse state in the neighborhood along with such kind of terrorist funding or let's say narco terrorism, you cannot leave it like that. You have to take that into consideration because it will have a grave implications for our country's India's security in the coming future. Today it may not affect, but what if tomorrow and day after, or let's say the next month? We never know. So let's not pave a way for it. You understand? So make sure that we are on the safer side and we are doing things in a proper way. That's indeed what is more important. Clear? So I have seen a message of Mayank. If I read the message, if I reply for you, you will not get your sleep. So let me not do that, Mayank. Seriously. If I say a reply to that, your sleep will be disturbed for the whole night because that will put your mother, your sister, if you have a wife, or if you have a daughter, in more trouble if I really reply for that. So let me not do that. Take care. Okay? And better stay in your limits. It's a warning. You understand? Anyways. Yes, Soham. Mm, चलो leave है यार कोई फर्क नहीं mental आदमी just leave that. Yes, Priya. Can't group of countries introduce and implement policy or so for this? See, Priya, group of countries coming together. See, chalo, group of countries coming together, introducing policies. What you will do with that? You have G20s, you have that, this, etc. You have the quadrilateral framework, you have that of different countries together. So, but then these are sensitive stuffs. Okay, just because they came and they did, this is not going to change. Because the control is with some other country. That country should also be part of any organization as a whole. How can you say that Taliban is going to be willingly involved in an association or grouping again? No, that cannot be the case. So you cannot just interfere just like that as a whole. That is the whole point. Yes, Sarvagya, ma'am, why India is not helping Afghan from sea route? See, we are trying to help. It's not from sea route perspective. See, we did, but then we got to be sometimes smarter in what we also want. We knew that the Taliban is really going to seize Afghan, but still, we tried our best, but that happened. But on the safer side, we maintained diplomatic relationship with Taliban also. You understand? Obviously, you have to understand that point as well. You got it? Yes, Abhi, what is it right to express the view? Siabi is saying something with regard to article. We had a, discussion in the beginning of the class based on right to freedom and speech in sab kuch hai na, right? If it is article that say there is a, what is it? All person have the right to express their view. See, Abhi, all person have the right to express their view. That is there. But doesn't mean that expression of view should be in such a way that you are demoralizing somebody or you are passing, heinous wala comments. Then left, right, center, be ready to get back also. You say, be ready to get back also. Simple. Simple as that. So no offense, no defense also. This is the logic. It should be followed by you people also. Simple as that. Anyways. No, no, no. I never said you had a bad intention, Abhi. But sometimes there are some, see, you are educated. Why are you educated? To understand what is right, what is wrong, what to use and what not to use, and where to use and when to use and the context to be used. That makes you a cultured individual. Don't you think so? Yes, it does. So, as simple as that. Where, what, how, why, when. The usage of terms shows the person you are, the culture you have, the background you belong to, and the sense of respect that you ask from others. And if you are a respected individual, your behavior will also be like that. That's the whole logic out there. Clear? As simple as that. Anyways, back to class. Yes, Kamal. When Taliban killed ex-servicemen of last government, could you please elaborate? See, that's a different scenario, Kamal. That's a different current affairs stuff. So I have explained a lot of issues and current affairs based on the same. Please feel free to watch the previous videos. So automatically on the IR international relations topic, we'll get it. Clear? Yes, Abhi. So what's wrong about this? What is wrong about this in the sense, are you talking about the comment passed by Mayank or are you talking about something based on the subject, Abhi? Make it clear, then I'll give you fitting reply to that. Do not worry for that. Yes, Prem? Nisha ma'am, instability in Afghanistan has initiated narcotic smuggling waves if unchecked. Have the potential of destabilizing Indian security. 101% yes, Prem Kumar, because instability in Afghanistan. Now it is Taliban-led Afghanistan, right? And now narcotic smuggling and terrorism, narcotic plus they call as narco terrorism, I can tell you. That has literally been increasing. So don't you think so? If not today, tomorrow it is posing a huge threat for the security of our country, India. That's what you see this. What is the last point telling you? The potential threat. A collapsed state in the neighborhood, along with narco terrorism, narcotics, drugs plus terrorism funding, automatically will have a huge implications for the security of a country in the future. So we shouldn't wait, pave a path for it. As simple as that. You got the point. Clear? Did you understand, all of you? So what it is all about, the conclusion out there. So now having understood, the topic in and out, in depth, in a very diplomatic or let's say in a very neutral manner, don't you think there is a tangible and perceptible threat to a country India's domestic policy security? Yes, because of the emergence of Taliban in Afghanistan and Taliban in Afghanistan, I can tell you. because they are focusing on narcotic, which you shouldn't actually, support, because that will lead to greater of terrorism funding. So with greater terror funding, these trends will encourage the emergence of all the, terrorism and separatist action, which is again a huge threat for the entire globe, not just for one or two countries. So now, as far as the country India is concerned, chalo, we got to be extremely careful and watchful, because we got to prevent these two dangers: terrorism funding or terrorism activity plus narcotic drugs use, illegal use of that, because they provide a clear and present risk. So we got to be very safe in that perspective. Clear? That is what this article is trying to tell you. Yes, Abhi, that's perfectly fine, Abhi. That's nothing to be sorry. I just told you what you said. See, there is nothing wrong in telling things that you do not know. Or if you say something in a different way, as a teacher and as a mentor, it is my duty to put it in the right way instead of getting agitated or instead of being one-sided. I just openly told you what is the reality or how it is exactly. Good that you understood it. All the best for your future. Anyways, back to class. Is it very clear, all of you? Perfect. Shallow. So I don't want to bombard you for another half an hour again, because it's not a marathon series. So that's all, my young officers. We're done for the day. So many news articles you've discussed today. I feel you feel quite happy as well. Anyways, so here we go, my young officers. I want all of you to quickly subscribe for the Unacademy Plus platform or the free classes, which will commence from tomorrow, that is 3rd of December, using the code Nisha IAS Live. These are the fees amount details, guys. You can DM me, or let's say connect me via Instagram, Telegram, whatever. It is Nisha Nujumudeen. My name is. Just go to Google and type it out. You'll get my profile. Clear? So make sure that you are subscribing to the Plus platform, and also if you're a free class student, even to watch the free class after downloading the Unacademy app, the first activity of you should be to watch my live classes using the code Nisha IAS Live. You can even take test series as well. So even for the free class, you can unlock the free class using this code. There are multiple benefits like that. Clear? Perfect. So these are the kind of stuffs you really got to understand, guys. Take care. Perfect. So I hope it is crystal clear for all of you. Any doubts, any queries, feel free to get back. Acha, I can see Kadir Basha in the class. Good to see you, Mr. Kadir Basha. He is a police officer again, whom I met today. Very happy to see you. Today, guys, I forgot to tell you something. Something happened out there, okay, when I was way back from my university, where one rigorous fellow, an uncultured, fellow, the way he spoke to ladies was not quite appreciable, and that was quite commanding. He was just a security again, and things was not that fine. And then I had to call the police and just sort it out, whatever it is. So I'm so happy to see you as well in the class, Mr. Kadirvasha. Good to see you. Yes, Priya. Chalo, good night, Anna. Yes, Sarvagya, there is a Telegram group. You go to Google and type Nisha Nujumudeen out there. Okay? You can type Nisha Nujumudeen Telegram. Nisha Nujumudeen for UPSC. That is the official Telegram channel that I have. All the updates regarding free classes, your paid or plus classes, the Unacademy special classes, the other incentives offers, sab kuch you'll be able to find it out there. Clear? Yes, Rana Pratap, ma'am's recounting of vote, a fundamental right. See, fundamental rights are rights which are mentioned as per the constitutional perspective. See, the right to privacy, the right to all these are the other miscellaneous right that comes out there. So recounting, or let's say right to vote. Let me talk about right to vote. Okay. So right to vote is a fundamental right, is something which anybody will have in the mind. It is not a fundamental right. It is a constitutional right. Okay. The correct answer is constitutional right. Okay. So that is something which you need to understand. Clear? So as per Article 326 of the Indian Constitution, the right to vote has been recognized, and it is sometimes a legal right, and also you can take it as a constitutional right, but it's a constitutional right, but they are not a fundamental right. Clear? And as per Article 324 of the Indian Constitution, it is stating that election should be conducted in a free, fair, and election commission must reflect the voters' will, the plea as stated. That is how it should be. Did you understand? Yes, Ankit Gupta, Telegram link. Telegram link in special class tomorrow at 6 p.m. when I take. I'll pin it up and you can just Google. I'll just show you. Hold on. Let me just show you. You're so confused, all of you. Chalo, this is my Unacademy ka profile, which you can see. You can follow me here as well. Download the app and follow me. And go to Telegram. See, just go to Google, type my name, Nisha Nujumudeen. Can you see the searches coming up, Nisha Nujumudeen, then yes, etc., etc., etc. Click on that. This is my profile. My profile comes. ठीक है? Huh? So, in that Telegram is also there. My Twitter is there. My Insta is there. Oh, people have searched so many things about me, guys. Nisha Unacademy, etc. Don't search like how they searched, okay, to know about my personal stuff. Anyways, Nisha Nujumudeen. Yeah, it's already come. Telegram. So can you see this? Nisha Nujumudeen UPSC is Telegram channel, and contact at Nisha Nujumudeen for UPSC is my group also. Can you see that? These are all my Telegram stuff. Go to my Facebook. In my Facebook now, you can see in the links when Telegram link is put. So this is my Telegram. Let me show you that. Yes, अभी Instagram ID. अच्छा, निशा नजुमुद्दीन है मेरा Instagram ID. So this is my Telegram. Nisha Nujumudeen UPSC. This is it. Can you see? The official Telegram channel of mine. Yeah, you can just go through it. The link is this. t.me/Nisha Nujumudeen for number 4 UPSC. So I will just give you this link. So probably you will be able to use it somewhere if I'm not wrong. You can just log in like that. Clear? Yes? Hello. So before leaving the class, I want each and everyone to like the video, to put your valuable feedback in the comment box, your queries or whatever, and at the same time, share the video as well. And stay tuned for more classes tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. with another set of most interesting editorial news of the coming day. And also 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. we have the free special live classes of MCQs. And 7:30 to 8:30 also same thing. So don't miss it, my young officers. I'll see you all tomorrow. Till then, bye-bye, good night, Shubh Ratri, and Jai Hind.